It's just a matter of working up the numbers, and against the 8th place team, EG is in theory banking this as a victory already, but we'll see whether or not they can actually secure it.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is Evil Geniuses on your screen as the red team. And of course, Meet Your Makers will be the blue team. And we'll see whether any of them really want to fight. Meet Your Makers used to be known, used to be renowned for their season level 1 prowess. They would be so aggressive and going in, but that's not really something we've seen here in the LCS for a very long time.
In terms of the level 1s, we've actually had a relatively slow number of level 1s when I think about the entire
Across
split.
the whole season, yeah.
Like, if I think about the entire summer split, I think NA has been more dramatic. Right now, we have the potential of butting heads, as EG have actually stacked themselves up. They've gone in deep, but a very good Damascene standard from Makata is going to at least reveal the 5-man squad. And it's just this warding brigade that we're seeing so frequently.
Exactly the same as they did in the last match, just reversed. They're on the red side this time, but it does look like they may actually be setting up for something here. The rest of Meet Your Makers are expected Damascene standard to fall on the ball. The charm landed on Charu, actually caught the rest of the team off guard. Nobody was prepared to actually hit him there.
Yeah, there was no other CC to lock him down. If Wicked had skilled his Dark Flight and landed a knock-up, maybe, but it was a very difficult one at best. So, nevertheless, a little bit of damage. Charu's just going to back off heal and return to lane, basically unscathed.
And it does mean that everybody will step away at the 1:40 mark. No late invades planned, no great expectations planned from either team. So, lanes, let's have a look at those. It's not going to be a 1v1, the happy times for Wicked this time around. He's going to be up in a 2v1 lane. Makla and Libic look like they're going to take possession of this bottom lane. We'll see how that works out. Wicked probably going to be leveling up his ranged ability to just farm out that one. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Jax is actually probably going to have a tough time of it up against Vayne and Sona.
Yeah, it is going to be very difficult for him. And remember that, you know, Wicked picked this matchup voluntarily. He wanted to go in the 2v1 because Jax, I'm pretty sure, will be able to counter him quite easily in that 1v1 setup. The one thing that Cuban's going to be careful of is the poke from Sona when she does get her power chords down, and just those, you know, him of Valors over and over. You see a very early invade from Evil Geniuses. They got the numbers advantage, and they want blue.
Yeah, it's a counter switch, both doing actually the exact same thing. Crepo's going over to help Snoopy, while Libic, he's heading over to help Makata. So both junglers stealing away the blue buff, so countering each other effectively here because they got that ward down earlier on. Nobody really wins out.
It's just a straight-up trade. So they were well aware of one another's positions. They had vision down in the different areas, and they basically just traded buffs, which is actually what we've been seeing all split long. And you can see how much poke and damage Cubon has taken in this top lane already from Crepo alone. The 3-minute 3v1 tower dive on cue.
Straight on cue. So Makata went for that one to bully out the bottom. Snoopy, however, went and took away the wolves in the bottom. Let's see if Meet Your Makers actually make something of this turret, or whether Snoopy's later chance on the top lane is going to work out. He's going to come in towards Makata when, as soon as that wave hits in there. He has got Wither, remember, but diving a Jax is a dangerous thing. The condemn on the wall is going to work wonders, though. He tries to use that counter strike, gets the stun on Yellow Piece, taking the tower damage. He's going to go down first. That blood goes to Makata, as I said right at the start. Sorry, Cubon. Diving a Jax on a tower is a very, very dangerous thing.
Yellow Pete to tower aggro too soon. Snoopy and Crepo did not back him up. They basically said, you're on your own, buddy. He gave up first blood. Now, Cubon's going to do the best he can to defend this tower, but that is a massive minion wave that he's basically trying to get the experience and gold from while his tower's taking damage.
And it's working wonders for him. He's actually jumped again at the moment. We see Makata, though. He's going up towards Wicked. This is a straight 1v1, but of course, it is a level 3 Makata with red buff against a level 2 Wicked. Meanwhile, that top lane, you can see Snoopy and Crepo, they had to back away. Cubon doing a really good job at defending this turret. Pete, though, is returning back to lane.
Yeah, there was just a complete communication error in that top lane, and MYM, they secured themselves first blood, and they secured themselves the first tower of the game. Makla and Makata will take this one out in just a second and back away. A very good start for MYM in this match.
4.5-minute tower, but the top turret also going to go for Evil Geniuses. So despite the first blood faux pas that Pete has made, it has evened things up. But look at this. Meet Your Makers, 4.5 minutes in, they're starting Dragon.
This is very, very brave. You'll see how much damage Makata is taking. He's going to have to step away at low health and let Libic tank it up. If anybody from EG gets a slightest hint of this, they might be able to interrupt, but it's not going to happen. There's enough members around.
Yeah, it was a good setup, actually. Charu had pinged it a long time ago, pinging on Frog, and I wonder what the pings were saying. He's basically saying, look, he's low mana. I've actually forced him away. He's not going to be able to do anything. Wicked out of position here. Tries to Dark Flight away. Is it going to be enough? The flash play is going to be in there. Dead sentence thrown out. Misses. The Ignite comes in. Charu locks him up. He's going to go down. The Blood Passage, whatever passive, without anyone, what the hell it's called, quick shot. You're going to tell me in a minute. Makta gets the kill.
Very, very important. Bloodwell is popped. It's on cooldown now, 4 minutes. They got the flash, very similar cooldown, and the kill went to Makla's hands. So now they have a Dragon, a 2-kill advantage, and they've even on towers. We'll see how they decide to defend these lanes, because at 5 minutes in, both of our top laners have been severely put behind. 7 CS and 4 CS right now.
But look at this. Evil Genius is 3 stacking, and now for the inner turret. There's actually good damage going down into already. Snoopy putting that Q down. Kuban's actually going to get the stun onto Pete. This time he hasn't took tower damage. Charu came in with that Claw of Doom, but it didn't manage to catch on towards him. It did, however, force them away.
So they managed to defend the tower, and that was well played. But the thing that MYM have to be a little bit careful of is just how much roam and damage EG are going to be applying to towers. You know, Nasus is one of the best 3v1, 3v2 tower pushes thanks to his wave clear on that Spirit Fire and the strength of Wither in those, you know, low number engagements. So for the time being, MYM doing pretty well and not making the same mistakes they did against Gambits.
Interesting to see the Lipic and Makta return back to this bottom lane. Makta taking up this giant wave, of course. Kuban sticking in that top wave, so it's going to continue to clear that one out. It does mean that Makta got himself equal back on farm. He fell behind a fair bit, but Kuban, he's building himself up a chunky wave, and Wicked's been struggling a bit because of all that pressure he had early on.
So it's a very good call from Makla and Libic to actually stick themselves back in that lane. They realized that the lane swap was going to come in. They knew that Wicked was going to go to the top lane, and you can see that Kuban has basically frozen that lane up. He's holding it in place for as long as he can. Unfortunately, minions behind him are going to start pushing it towards Wicked, who has half the levels. That's a level 6 Jax against a level 3 Aatrox. And Wicked's going to have to do a lot of catch-up to become relevant in this matchup.
That is going to be dangerous times. They'll flay on towards Yellow Pete, but he condemns Libic straight away. That's going to be a wither on towards Makla. Where is happening? Lissandra's coming around. Charu was teleported in. Pete's trying to get away with this one. Crepo does get flayed out. Death Sentence isn't used. He does flash away nicely. And look at Pete. He's made a great escape through the jungle.
Absolutely.
Very nicely played by EG.
Everybody got away, and they got out of range of Charu's Frozen Tomb. Wicked's trying to do the best he can. Kuban's going to leap in as possible, if possible.
He's not going to get away from this one. He's already used his Dark Flight. He's going to catch on towards him. There's the Ignite. He'd be able to tower dive this one. Or is it going to be enough? He's going to try and kite him around. He's maybe took too many hits. One more hit. Will it be enough? No! The health regen from that pot was just enough to save him. But look at Pete. Pete's coming hungry. Froggenwald's got no mana at all. And now Kuban's in trouble. May have cost himself this one. Yes, he will. Froggen picks up the kill.
And very importantly, Wicked managed to get the assist on that one. So he's, you know, 20 CS behind, but that's a little tiny chunk of change that can try help him out to get back in this game. And you know, that matchup of Jax versus Aatrox, it was one that Wicked didn't want, and now he's forced into, and his opponent is 2 kills above him and 3 levels above him. That is basically a lost lane until Snoopy comes and helps him out.
I would love to have seen the cooldown on Dark Flight as well, because that must have been very close, but the Leap Strike came out and was enough to close him down. Look at this though, the blue buff is being contested. Snoopy is close by, has got Smite available, but won't want to use it. He wants to give this across to Froggen. You see Froggen hurting for mana. The rest of EG all come in force to defend it, and it's Froggen that picks up the blue.
So I managed to at least secure that objective, and interestingly enough, in the next minute and a half, Dragon will be respawning because it was picked up at 4 minutes 30, 4 minutes 40. So EG, they're going to try to keep their eyes open for that one. They stacked it to defend the tower here in the mid lane. And MYM, they're going to try to slow the game down, pick up a few more items, and probably contest for Dragon. I think that's going to be their next focus point here. And we'll see how quickly Kuban clears the wave and moves down towards the Dragon pits.
To me, the longer they leave Jax alone, he's going to become a problem if he gets beefy, because nobody really wants to lane with him right now. We're seeing Pete up there. Pete's actually going up against him, so Kuban's, you know, a 1v1 lane, but this is a scary, scary thing. If they let Jax get fed and strong, he could be a real problem. Yeah,
I feel like MYM's composition is actually a little bit superior to EG in many ways, and Jax is one of them. He's going to be able to deal with Aatrox, or he's going to be able to deal with Vayne. Just counterattack all of those, counter-strike all of those auto attacks, block the damage, and jump on top of Vayne. Right now, the hook lands on Snoopy as they get the tower.
The death sentence there, but the flay didn't land, but that does Demacia standard goes through. He's going to get locked up, and he gets taken down by the Cataclysm, and now Crepo's in trouble. He gets taken down. Charu picks up another one. McCalla taken low. Froggen tries to go aggressive, didn't really have the mana to back that one up, and the EG are in desperate times right now. If Meet Your Makers 5-1 up, they take a turret and 2 kills.
All of a sudden, Meet Your Makers Makers are making aggressive plays in the first 10 minutes of the game, something we have not seen them consistently do throughout the season. I talked about Cubon pushing the wave. He's pushed it out. 35 seconds on the clock. My question is, does he go from the base to the Dragon Pit? Because that spawns in 30 seconds, and I think he may reroute in the not-too-distant future.
Well, we'll see. Yep, and there you go. He's changing direction. Looks like it is going to be the Dragon. The timer has been called. Wicked trying desperately. He's only up to level 6 right now. Still 2 levels behind Cubon. Effectively trying to farm his way back into this matchup. He was locked down so heavily early on in this matchup. He will become a problem eventually. The question is, will it be enough of a problem to Meet Your Makers to worry about? Because by that time, Cubon could be strong enough to just deal with anyone on Evil Geniuses.
Cubon has no idea where he wants to go or what he wants to do, because we've seen he was pushing to top lane, then he was coming down for Dragon, then he went back towards top, picked up the Wolf Camp, and now he maybe wants to pick a fight with Yellow Pete. Dragon has respawned, and MYM have voluntarily put themselves in a 4-man position. Luckily for them, Evil Geniuses have got no vision in the area, and they haven't contested this at all. But that was a little risky. If EG had grouped to fight, they would have been at a very big disadvantage.
But Meet Your Makers had very good vision of it. If you look at their ward placements around the blue buff, around the Wolves, they had full coverage and knew exactly where EG would come in, so they were quite safe, I think, or they felt safe, certainly in their setup.
And cast your mind back to weeks 1, 2, and 3 when MYM was securing so many victories thanks to Charu teleporting in from behind. The reason for those victories was pink ward supremacy and vision control deep in their opponent's jungles. Cubon is now set himself up. He gets charmed, and there goes Froggen.
That's going to be Cubon the dive on, but look at that Counter-Strike running, effectively counter-reacting everything Yellow Pete can do, but there's a good condemn on the wall. That's going to be a kill. It's Froggen that picks it up. Teleport comes in from Charu. Not going to be enough, and he actually cancels it.
Yeah, cancels it, gets a cooldown back, realizes that he can't 1v2 Froggen and Yellow Pete, even if they've just used their ultimates. So unfortunately, Cubon does go down, but he's still doing very well for himself as the rest of Evil Geniuses have stacked up in this mid lane. They've got a numbers advantage, and they want to try even up the towers.
Good leveling up from Wicked here. He's up to level 8, just hit it. So there's only one behind Cubon right now, and Cubon, the fact that, like you said, he didn't really know where he wanted to go, may well have lost his advantage and squandered it a little.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird one, because if MYM had stayed together on Dragon, the question is, what would they have done next? And there was no blue buff to steal. They don't really want to overextend to the inner tower on the bottom lane. So he just tried to farm up. He ended up getting caught out.
So, as it stands, Froggen is the highest farmer in the game, and you can see he's up 2-0. In terms of gold, he's actually behind, though, because of the global objectives that Meet Your Makers are picking up, because they've got those 2-to-1 turrets, because they've got that dragon, or 2 dragons, in fact, I bet it is, because they got that very early dragon. It has given Meet Your Makers the advantage in gold. You can see the AD carries, it's 1,000 gold advantage as well. Top lane, 1,200 gold advantage. Junglers, just shy about 800 gold advantage as well. In terms of supports, well, that's always going to be fairly close. It's simply the global objectives gold that's separating those two. In terms of items, let's see where that stands. You can see Bilgewater Cutlasses all around. Everybody wants to get that Blade of the Ruin King. Yeah,
at this point in time, there's going to be like 1 million Blade of the Ruin King, so we're going to see a lot of movement speed being decreased during the course of these fights. Remember, it has taken a bit of a hit in terms of that active, but still very, very good item on everybody. What I do like about the different builds, Charu's gone for that Abyssal Scepter, whereas Froggen has gone for the Deathfire Grasp. So Froggen wants to pop people, and Charu wants to be a little more tanky, wants to survive some of the damage coming out of Froggen, and also make Jax's damage more impactful by denying that magic resist from his opponents.
Interesting, the difference between the AD carries right now is a full set of Berserker Boots. Makla's getting engaged upon those. Berserker Boots are not going to help him here because Froggen will be picking up another kill. Tried to go stealth, but look at it. Straight round the back, Charu is there for equalize the damage.
Very good play from Charu. He was in the right place at the right time. The buff transfer gets locked between 2 of them, and now all of a sudden MYM are in position to steal the blue buff as well. So very, very good play. A little unfortunate for Makla to go down, but at the end of the day, they come out in an advantageous position. They got the assist, they got the buff, and now they can start to try encroach upon Yellow Pete and Crepo.
Well, Kumon leaps in there. Charu and Makata were looking to cut around the side there of Pete and Crepo, but they have backed away in the right direction, avoiding any of the damage. But that does leave their mid lane fairly exposed here. Wicked is getting the free farm in that top lane, but look at Meet Your Makers. They are gathering to push down that mid.
Yeah, they've got numbers advantage, and more importantly, they have vision advantage here. They can see everything approaching the lane, which just allows them to stay aggressive more often. They know that Wicked is in the top lane, and Makla's going to go try deal with him with that Blade of the Ruin King. He could probably win it if a fight broke out. Right now, it's a lot of damage in the middle, and Wicked's caught.
Spray and pray being used. He's going to have to flash out of this one. Wicked isn't going to be enough. And, well, Makler didn't have the flash to follow through. He would have certainly been able to take Wicked down.
But look at MYM.
He's not safe yet. There is Jax coming up. Kuban is not going to cut him off. They tried to go around towards the blue buff. Instead, they'll be happy with that.
And this is a very scary place for EG to be in. If the AD carry of MYM is able to so easily duel Wicked's Aatrox, Wicked isn't going to be able to stay in lane and farm up safely. Now, to be fair, he was very, very far behind as far as items are concerned, and that gap has been closed a little bit with the most recent pickups, but he's still significantly further behind damage and consistent, auto-attack damage over time against Makler.
Well, MYM makers have pinged that top turret. It looks like it's where they're going to focus on. Makler is up there. He is going to have 3 members of Evil Geniuses collapsing in towards him, though, so not going to be able to push it on his own. He's going to need that support over the rest of his team. EG are in full defensive stance right now. Froggen, though, the saving grace for them. He's 3-1-0 in that mid lane with that Deathfire Grasp, but essentially picking up fights as and when he can win them. Right now, Evil Geniuses need to pick themselves up an Oracle's Elixir, and they need to clear out the vision on their side of the jungle. So Crepo does tend to pick them up in games that are a little bit struggling, sort of between 18 and 21 minutes or so. That's the normal time you'll secure it. And if they can get vision control back in the jungle, Evil Geniuses are going to stall the game out so that 4,000 gold lead becomes less impactful, and then they'll start looking to play fights. So this is very much defensive on the back foot from EG. Well, Charu's going to die, that's for sure. The question is, or is he? Is he? Froggen could be able to cut him off with the orbs. He hasn't quite got the range. Charu might be able to get away from this one. He's going to head straight towards Pete, though. Yeah, and those big orbs around Froggen are going to get him down. And Wicked gets dropped. No problem there. His passive was not going to save him. The rest of his team had already backed away from that one. Crescendo had already been used from Crepo. We missed that on the screen, and that will be the top lane tower going down here. While this is all happening, Pete's getting himself a little bit of a push in the bottom lane, but looks like Makata's doing a good job of keeping him away. Makata's gone in. Going aggressive. Condemn comes out from Pete, just like, no, get away. So he manages to at least fend him off for a little bit, but very importantly, Makata is defending this tower. The rest of MYM were thinking about pushing on the top inner, but decided against it. They've turned their focus onto Froggen's Ahri, and if he gets locked up by a stun or a death sentence, he will be sentenced to death. Well, at the moment he's staying very safe and actually took the Wraith right around the back. That's the best part, the best view that Wraith has ever seen in his life. He had a good little guided tour around the forest before being executed. Now with Dragon respawning, MYM are set to take their 3rd Dragon of the game by 18 minutes. They picked the first up as one of the quickest Dragons in the game. And Dragon control is something that MYM have not been historically very good at throughout the course of the summer split. And as long as they maintain control of that right now, they're going to have this nice comfy cushion of gold between them and their opponents. And that comfy cushion of gold is 5,000 right now. 7-4 in kills, 3-1 in turrets. Big advantages for Meet Your Makers here in a game that, on paper, you wouldn't put it down to win, especially after the results earlier on today. So they are bouncing back very well here. We wondered how they'd react to it. And Evil Geniuses, to such a overly confident performance against Ninjas in Pajamas, who, from all aspects, everything we hear, have been destroying everyone in terms of scrims. They really have a good result in many, many scrims against many opponents. But right now, it is EG that are floundering against Meet Your Makers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the EU LCS. The team dominates game 1, falters game 2. Froggen was very close to getting caught out here. Smelled a rat and was able to back away. Almost got jumped on by Kuban and Charu. And it's just something that we've been seeing all season long. You know, teams that perform well in one game and struggle a little bit more. But it is still early days. We're only 20 minutes on the clock, and EG, they've slowed the game down enough. They're not falling further behind, which is what they were doing for the first 10 or 12 minutes. Pete is staying very defensive on that bottom. He's not really got much vision. As I say, not much vision. EG have actually put a lot of wards out. They've invested heavily in trying to get some of that vision back. We see Makata actually spotted by one of those wards, and Pete may well try and slide in and steal it. No, instead he condemns on towards Charu, which forced actually Makata to pick up the blue buff. So at the end of the day, if you are stealing a buff, you tend to want to smite secure it if it's at risk of being stolen. You rather deny it from your opponents than lose it entirely. So what we'll do is we'll wait for blue buff to respawn and give MYM's blue to Charu.
in terms of the vision that you highlighted, there's a lot of pink wards that are put down on the top half of the map. You can see by the blue buff as well. Pink ward sitting in Snoopy's back pocket, and it does two things. Number one, it clears the vision from MYM, and number two, it reveals Makla's ambush stealthed up attacks. So I really like that itemization, and I hope they continue with it.
Froggen stands and waits, but look at this. Kuban knows exactly where he is. They both know where each other are.
Look in the mid lane, though.
Throws out that charm. Yeah, it does mean he's just simply distracting him enough. And that is a very easy turret. Meteor Maker's in full control. Froggen is going to have to teleport away from this one because they are collapsing in on his position. Will he be quick enough? Kuban thought about trying to go in towards those bushes and distracted him, but wasn't quite sure if he could take him in a 1v1.
Yeah, Kuban is very afraid because he does very well against auto-attacking champions, and Ari, who's just going to DFG and spell death you, is very scary. There goes the Cataclysm. They've called Crepo and Snoopy.
He does chance to use the crescendo,
wow.
Just flashes straight away from that, but 2 flashes burnt there.
2 flashes burnt. I'm flabbergasted at that crescendo. Not only did it lock up Makate from doing anything further, at absolute max range, it caught Charu as well. Whether or not Crepo aimed it to hit both, or Charu just ended up there with the Claw of Doom, it worked out. Libic, however, if he gets a death sentence, this is going to be a dead Yellow Pete.
Throws out the lantern. He does actually. Yellow Pete's going to take him down. Yes, he will. Manages to roll through, but look at that stun. Is it going to be enough to slow him down? The Wither comes in. Makla's going to get caught out. The lifesteal is not going to be enough. He might be able to turn this one round. Snoop is in trouble now. He's going to have to try and get away from this one. Makla might be able to kite this one out, and you can see he's doing it. No! The big hit from Snoop. He comes down. Don't mess with the dog.
That's siphoning strike. If that had been half a second longer, that would have been a dead Snoopy and a double kill for Makla. But he manages to pick the kill up. At the end of the day, they trade 2 for 1. So, you know, a good counterplay, but Yellow Pete was caught out. Hook, line, and simpler.
One of those things where you just hammer in the Q key. Come on! You can do this. Hit the damn thing. Froggen, no, he's going to be clearing out those raids. He is the saving grace, as I mentioned, for Evil Geniuses. But that, right there, was the first 2 kills that EG have actually picked up that didn't have Froggen's name all over it. Because that is finally 6 kills for EG. Right now, though, Meteor Makers are still in the driving seat. 5,000 gold advantage right now in the 22-minute mark. EG have to try and pull something together if they are to challenge for any of those higher spots in the playoffs. They're
going to continue stalling, though. That's the thing. They want to continue building up some more itemization. They want to look for picks if MYM overextend or stay where they shouldn't be. And what you'll notice is MYM's vision is getting significantly less. And what that means is EG are going to start being in a position where they can actually challenge dragons and start fighting more on their terms.
Well, we see Meteor Makers having to back off from Evil Genius. He's stepping up in the mid lane, actually. Starting to group up. We see the Makla's wriggling his way back up towards that mid lane, and Meteor Makers in a pretty healthy position still to hold this one off. You can see the Phantom Dancer has been completed for Makla. There's another set of wraiths for Froggen. Froggen really is farming. They're hitting those wraiths hard right now. He's a little bit behind in terms of build right now. Actually, tell a lie. They've gone different routes. So not really behind, but they are pretty close on gold right now. He's the only member of Evil Genius that is remotely close to his lane partner.
Yeah, thanks to the fact that he's got those 4 kills. That's the biggest influential factor in you know, staying close right now. And basically, if anybody gets caught by a charm on MYM's side, maybe with the exception of Makate, with Kuban with that Hex Drinker, they're basically going to go down. That is a lot of damage, a lot of bonus damage, and very importantly, Froggen has picked himself up as Zonya's Hourglass. Makla is stealthed up. He's looking for Yellow Pete, and here comes Charu from behind.
Charu with the teleport and home guard, but condemns him away. Tries to turn it around, not going to happen. Locked up, Charu just destroyed him where he stood. Not a chance.
Yeah, exactly. You know, teleported in, locked him up with a tomb, and now all of a sudden, Froggen instantly replies.
Instant reply, and that's the AD carry of Makla going down. The rat was skewered and destroyed right there. But as it stands, Meteor Makers, they're waiting for that dragon. He's going to spawn. They're going to get themselves a 4.
And now with losing both of their AD carries, it'll take a little longer to go down. But still, Evil Geniuses, they need Vayne's damage to be able to contest and fight this one. So, fortunately, they give that one up yet again. But what it has allowed is all of this time has given Wicked the ability to split push and start taking down these towers.
So, uses his ultimate, and that, of course, we saw it before, is a very fast tower destroyer. So, Wicked, the tower destroyer, is working well. But Kuban's straight on towards him, and he's actually giving up. They're not giving up chasing. Oh, he's not going to follow through. Froggen, though, he's in trouble. I don't know where he's going to go here.
He flashed.
Flashes past the tower. has not got his ultimate available for quite a while here. Charu surely will pick him up. No, misses the charm. Just managed to get some more damage down. Charu's still taking a bit of a hit here. He will finally get locked up as the moment Makler comes around. The explosive cast on towards him. Uses the Sonya's. Is he going to have his ultimate available? No, not yet. Still can't get away from this one. Hasn't got enough to get the charm out. Makler picks up the kill.
So he loses his life, a flash, and obviously there's the hourglass active. In reply for taking the middle tower, Snoopy was able to push that one down. I guess in the grand scheme of things, that's probably worth it, but maybe should have held on to the flash. I think Snoopy still would have got that tower, even if Froggen had died a little earlier.
But he gave the shutdown bonus to Makler and 2 assists across the meter makers as well.
That's a lot of extra gold given over to MYM's hands.
But a tower's a tower, I guess, at the end of the day, and the objectives are what counts and not kills. 10-7 currently to Meteor Makers, who are in the driving seat, but have been floundering a little here, and Evil Geniuses seem to be starting to collect their thoughts. Just looking across Wicked and Kubon, there was a big difference there, but it is definitely a lot closer right now. Wicked's going to be getting that Randian's Omen will be the next
they've caught
item.
Charu!
And they have caught Charu out, and look at the damage, but they haven't got enough to follow through. So he uses that Claw of Doom and escapes to victory.
So manages to get out safely. He managed to save his flash as well, which is even more important in that particular gank. But also Wicked, he missed the Dark Flight. To try to get the knock up, he ended up wall planting it. What we do see now, though, is MYM are going for a 2-man Baron.
The 2-man Baron, and Kubon Makata should be able to do this one, but not if they get spotted. Here comes Snoopy. He's going to put that ping ward down. See them doing it. He's thinking, no way, I'm not going to let 2 people try and sneak this one away. They do clear it out, and they managed to also take away the ward coverage that Meteor Makers had in there. And that, again, is actually buying EG time. Yeah, every time Meteor Makers delay and try these little tricks and they don't work, it's giving EG a chance to get in the game.
Yeah, I really want to highlight just how difficult it is to do those sneaky Barons now. Now that Baron has been rechanged, the target closest to him has his damage reduced by 50%. So it makes it a lot more difficult for the likes of Jax to actually pick up that kill if he's the one that's affected by the damage reduction. You can see Froggen camping on that bottom lane. He's just waiting for a juicy target to roll by, and if he gets a charm, it's going to be a dead target.
Well, it is Kubon. He's got that Hex Drinker. Is it going to be enough, though, to stop the damage that Froggen could put out? Froggen instead teleporting back. Doesn't really fancy it. And wisely backs away from this one. Not too sure. You never really know with Froggen. He could pull something magical out. Majestic plays that he often does. But Wicked, he's definitely got himself back into this one. Was well out of the game early on in that lane phase. Meteor Makers did a grand job at shutting him down. But you can't shut Wicked down for long. And has it been enough? Have they let him go? That's the question. There is still a big goal difference, a big goal disparity, but as the game progresses, as the gold heaps up and gets larger, that 5,000 gold is going to be less and less of difference.
And remember, we haven't actually seen a full team fight, right? If you think about the entire 30-minute game so far, it's been picks that MYM have been slightly more superior at making. They find someone, they kill them, they take an objective. They find someone, they kill them, they take a tower. But now that they're down to the inner towers, MYM have to slow down because it's so much more risky. And we haven't seen a full 4v4 or 5v5. This could be it, as EG have stacked up in the mid lane.
EG pushing straight down the mid lane. Kubon wasn't there. He was trying to push up the bottom inner turret, and that's actually bought EG time to get in towards that Baron pit. Will they go for it? I'll be surprised if they do.
They're pulling MYM.
Well, we'll see if they do pull them, because MYM are not falling for it. They're starting to stack up. Actually coming in from pincer move here. Libic throwing out that Dark Passage, continuing to go. Ooh. You saw Charu thought about going in there. Meteor Makers gather very successfully. They have such a quick closing team, a gap closing team.
Yeah, I'm really happy that Charu didn't follow that up, because if he followed the Claw of Doom up and landed, he would have been condemned into the wall, or crescendo probably, because he's seen both Vayne and Sona within range and realized it was a very risky move. What MYM now have is they have the positional advantage, they've got the numbers advantage, and they're going to try to take out this bottom inner tower.
They may well have enough to do it. They've only got 1 minion, so they're going to have to tank this one up a little bit. Have they got enough there? Snoopy's in there, puts the Wither down. They do manage to force him away. And that is only half the turret damage gone down, but still, it's enough. It's a good start. We do see Wicked putting that ward down, getting vision, and Meteor Makers are going to back away.
Very importantly, the next time MYM do that, they'll secure the tower. And that's really what counts at this stage in time. They're sitting on a good amount of money as well, so gonna go back, spend a little bit of that cash. You can see Charu 1,500 gold, you can see Makler 1,700 gold. So once that gets spent, I think MYM will be trying to look to force fights, but I don't really see how they can without maybe a tower dive or catching Evil Geniuses out, because right now, EG are just playing so incredibly defensive. They caught Cubon, and Froggen's thinking about it.
And Froggen realized, I'm not too sure he can take this one. He needed the help of Pete. Pete comes around now. Pete certainly putting the damage down. Gets that condemned down towards him. Takes him down. But look at Charu. He comes in. Melts one. Melts another as well. Pete's going to go down. He got taken very low, but it was enough to get the kill.
This could be Baron for MYM. They're thinking about it. They've got 4 members up. Makla is there with the Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, and the Blade of the Rune King. So as long as EG don't interrupt them, they should be able to pick it up. They're clearing the vision out, and you can see EG stacking up. They've got 3 members there. They're thinking about it, and now they've actually started Baron off.
They know that they're around the side. They have Crescendo. Wicked has his ultimate as well to dive himself in there. It's the Massacre, I believe it is, to launch himself in. You can see him off the side. The passive is also available. Snoopy's going to have to flash and try and steal this one with the smite. Instead, it's going to be Wicked. They try and lock up. Is it enough, though? Because Charu's been caught out around the side. Now they're going to go on towards Makla. Makla gets taken down. It's a double for Wicked. Makala's been taken low. Snoopy backs away. Libic might get dived on here. The Dark Flight will be available for Wicked. Where's he going to flash towards? Makala chases on towards Snoopy. Snoopy runs away from this, and that was a great counter from Evil Geniuses. A 3v5, they managed to pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, very, very good play from EG. They engaged upon, I think it was the 4 members of MYM in the pit, managed to lock them up, get 2 kills, and more importantly than getting the kills, they actually prevented the Baron from starting. And the 2 kills that were secured were for Wicked. That is a double kill on the most starved player on the Evil Geniuses team. So very, very good play and coordination from them.
So the 2 carries of Froggen and Pete, who were taken down in that last fight, are back available. And that means, of course, that they will start setting up. The Dragon is live, and for the first time in the game, EG are in a position to actually try and fight for this one. Gold, still 5,000 gold between these two. Not really changing. It's actually shrinking a little bit in favor of Evil Geniuses. They managed to close the gap to around about 4,500 gold right now, but look at MYM, because they are ready and waiting to go for another Dragon.
There's no vision here from Evil Geniuses, and they've got a really quick Dragon-taking team with a Twitch, with a Jarvan, with a Jax. You'll see how quickly this gets shredded. And I think one of the reasons that, you know, EG are doing well, if I can say that, is 5,000 gold at 15 minutes when it's 25 or 30% of the total gold is massive. But 5,000 gold when it's 40,000, and it's only now 15%, approaching 10% of the gold difference, it's significantly less impactful, and very big items are completed. You can see the Randian's Omen there for Wicked, so that'll help him out against both Jax, Jarvan, and Twitch at the same time.
And Wicked has actually surpassed Cubon in farm as well now, so he's definitely gained himself up there, kept up now, equal with levels, definitely clawed his way in. And Meteor Makers, you can't help but think, have they spent too much time maybe trying to get this Baron? They've made 2 attempts at it so far, and both of them effectively backfired. While this is all happening, Pete's getting himself a lot of free farm down that bottom lane, keeping those wave clears. Meteor Makers realize that. He's a long way away from the fight, should they begin on Baron.
I still think I like the MYM composition when it comes to a full-on 5v5 team fight. When I think of a Jax Counter-Strike maybe hitting 2 or 3 people, Cataclysm locking a few in, you know, Frozen Tomb locking people up, plus Spray and Pray on top of all of that, I think it's a little stronger than what EG can offer. But if EG can get a pick, they can get a charm and burst someone down, that's going to be very scary to deal with. And we'll see how it works out, as this is a fight.
Makata jumps in, but doesn't really land the target. They hook in on Snoopy, but Snoopy's not the one they want to go for. And you see Froggen insta-killing Makata there. Wicked still handling Makla. Makla goes down. Libic's the next focus. Wicked is doing damage. He's finally going to get taken down, but he's got his blood well available, so the passive will come up. Charu, meanwhile, he took down Froggen, but instantly got replied on. And ironically, it was Crepo that picked up the kill. It's a 3-4-3.
Yet another brilliant crescendo there from Crepo, locking up
3 for 2.
3 for 2 at the end of the day, locking up both Charu and Makla towards the bottom of that river area. And we had sort of a split thing, but the one thing that's important to note, Wicked was pulling multiple members of MYM away and containing them. He held them in place, held their attention, and allowed the rest of EG to deal damage and finish people off. Cubon, however, scarily, basically took out Froggen as well. Locked him up, stunned him, and with the help of some Charu damage, managed to kill Froggen.
They're sure... Libic is very low on health. This surprises me. He's very brave. I'm seeing this one. Is it going to be enough? Cubon, yes, you are strong. Yes, you've got a Warmox, but have you got enough to take it down?
Teleport from Charu in the top lane right now.
Coming in.
And
Teleport Charu.
So the thing is, Cubon is low, Libic is low. If EG gets here in time, this is going to be a very good fight for them. As long as someone else is tanking Baron, Cubon's going to finish it quicker. Libic is running away.
Well, Crescendo's not available, but look at Pete. He goes straight in instantly. You have to see the counter strike from Kubon. EG now looking to see if they can get any picks. If Snoopy can land the wither on McCann. Oh, he's been caught with a condemn on the wall just as he was about to Demacia stand and slide away. Didn't happen. That's the jungler gone. That's the smite gone. EG turn it around. They're gonna get Baron. Everybody from MYM was backed up. Terrible mistake.
Makate missed it. He missed the pull. He landed the grab, the flag. He tried to drag, and he just got knocked into the wall. Evil Geniuses now pick up the Baron. This is going to close the goal difference. And with the statistics that Baron gives you, EG are now in the advantage. Even though they're 3 gold behind in total, if you add up all of the other statistics that it provides you, the attack damage, the regen, the ability power, EG have now all of a sudden taken back control of this game.
And that gold, we always talk about how big of an advantage Baron is. It effectively gives like an 8,000 gold swing, and just look at the gold advantage. It's down to 2,000 already. EG pushing on through, and I'm not too sure they can stop them getting on towards this inhibitor turret. Kubon is teleporting back. He's finally left that bottom lane. The rest of EG, they realize, we've got a big advantage here, guys. Let's back away. Let's take stock of the situation.
So now the goal for EG is to ward up MYM's jungle, ward up the map, and you can see how many wards they have in the blue half of the map on behalf of Evil Geniuses. And then they want to start looking for some picks. They want to start picking fights on their term, because now they're in this power play for the next sort of 3 or so minutes. And if they can catch people from MYM out, that's going to be the tower go, the tower signal. And you can see there's 2 towers in the bottom lane. So why force an inhibitor one that's risky and scary when there's easier objectives elsewhere on the map?
Well, EG are... Ooh, I thought Libic's thinking about going for it. Doesn't want to go in towards there, that's for sure. Should throw out the Demacia standard. I think Mercado, which is... But either of them, they're contemplating it. And Froggen
look for the charm.
Snoopy just wait.
This is going to be a scary charm.
It's the charm. Oh, it's Kubon, and he's going to be the most tankiest member, but is it going to be enough? They do catch on towards Snoopy. The crescendo only caught Makata there, actually using it defensively. That kind of didn't work for EG.
I got to admit, that was a questionable play. Yeah, you caught Kubon, but he's got a Warmogs completed, plus a Hex Drinker, plus a Negatron Cloak. That is a scary, scary Jax. They tried to focus him down, but even in a best-case scenario, they were still 3v4, 3v5 at the end of the day. So EG trying to make something special happen, it kind of backfires.
Pete might get caught out here. He has got the red buff, but realizes he's got to back away from this one. They've got great ward coverage down the left-hand side where the Baron was, and Pete's making sure he takes away every little bit of gold away from Kubon. He's like, no, my jungle, all my mobs, and you're not going to get any of these. Kubon, though, he's returning to farming ways, but is it enough? Has he done it quick enough? He had such a huge advantage over Wicked, but I just feel he's let it slip away.
Yeah, I think as a team they've let it slip away. The problem was, and this is a problem that has plagued MYM throughout the splits as well, when they do get an advantage, they're not 100% sure how to convert that early game lead into mid-game objectives and mid-game control. Once they hit the inner towers of Evil Geniuses, Miyawakers stalled. They kind of ran out of gas and sort of went, well, we don't really know how to push. We don't really... How do we do this? Do we group? You know, and they didn't even try, unfortunately.
Well, the blue buff is going to get stolen away from them. It will be Froggen that picks that one up. You can see, actually, no, they're going to give it Snoopy. Going to give it Snoopy. Froggen's already got his own one, so Snoopy's going to be continuing to build up that siphoning strike, which we saw won a fight earlier on.
Yeah, luckily getting the cooldown available is basically what kept him in it. He got the lifesteal from his passive, landed that big smack on the head onto Makla's Twitch, and it did keep him alive. And for the first time this game, Evil Geniuses are about to shoot the dragon in the face.
They are going to go for that dragon. This will be their first one. I believe Meteor Maker's already had 5 dragons so far. It's 4 or 5. Either way, it's a lot. And this will be the first one of the game for EG. So that would be music to the ears of a support like Crepo, because it's the supports that really get starved for gold when they don't get dragons.
When you look at the support as well, Crepo's picked himself up in Mikhail's Crucible, which is an item we don't see super often. And when you combo that with Yellow Pete's Quicksilver Sash, if he gets stunned by Counter-Strike, he's going to QSS it out. If he then gets stunned by, you know, Charu, for example, you can pull him out with Mikhail's, you can give him that nice chunk of HP and heal him. And I absolutely love that pickup, because I think it works against the major threats on the MYM side.
Froggen is pushed the wave in, then not going to take down that tower. I'm not sure whether they were going to put some damage on towards it instead, but they thought Meat Makers may be pushing up their mid, which is why you saw them kind of all half-heartedly backing away, like, they're still pushing? Are they going to stop? Are they going to keep going?
I'm very surprised that EG has not stacked up to push those bottom towers down in 14 minutes, because it's... the minions have just done it now, but it's basically I don't want to say easy gold, but it's fairly safe gold. It's very extended. If they stay as 5, it can work out for them. And Cubon's farming himself up, but that's like 4,500 HP of Jax they've got to burn through.
But he's thinking, yeah, I'm a long way out of position here. Even if it's a 4,500, he can't go 4v1. And he would get taken down, even with his Ghost and Leap Strike.
4,000. I overestimated the power of Warmogs, but it's still a very, very tanky, you know, Jax, even at 50% HP, that's more than most of the champions in the game right now. And EG, they've got themselves back in it, and they're not playing, not taking risks. They're not pushing towers, they're not picking fights. I'm not quite sure what the go signal is going to be, whether it is more vision and then catching someone out, or maybe the next Baron. I think they may even stall this until the next Baron as the big, let's try and win the game on that play.
Greppo doing what he can to get on. He got 3 CS in amongst that while Wicked was just stealing the rest. He was like, I'm gonna get some at least. That gave him 70 gold, at least 80 gold. He's going to be happy with that. It's going to be enough to go back and buy. What's Libic doing? He's going very aggressive, putting a ward on the Wraiths.
So again, just trying to get as much vision as possible here. Both of the supports have been running around with Oracle's Elixirs for a fairly lengthy period of time. Crepo's actually wore out a little while ago, but he's been stocking up on those pink wards and basically getting as much vision as possible. And again, I really feel that the Baron is going to be the next big point of contention here. And you can see that's the signal. Snoopy, he's the one with the Oracles. He's placing all the wards to get all the vision, so they can have all the information for the next big fights.
And I need to make it clear how important of a game this is for Evo Geniuses. This would take them to 4th place in the league, a position they've not been at effectively since week 3, which is the first time they were really up there. And even then, they were only tied for 4th place. This would put them at 4th place on their own, which is a big achievement when you think they were down in, what, 7th position back in week 4.
And remember, like we talked about, you know, they only need a 2-3 record on the assumption that their opponents have, you know, not optimal weeks. And if EG managed to get their 2nd win now and a 3rd win of their next 3 games, it basically guarantees their entry. Now, Libic throws out the death sentence just short of Wicked. Doesn't manage to catch in his wings, and maybe EG want to turn this one around. Guardian Angel's been completed for Froggen, so he's going to have to come back, or going to have the ability to come back in a fight, much like Wicked, as Bloodwell is available once again.
Yeah, Wicked thought about going in there, tried to catch the slow on them, actually. Didn't quite catch the tail either side. Obviously, with that Zhonya's as well, Froggen's going to be a real pain in the backside, actually. Charu's trying to sneak off and wait at the side, but that giant stack of minions has caught Froggen's attention. Meanwhile, the Baron will be up in 2 seconds' time, so blue buff is actually going to be picked up by Froggen. If he shows himself in that bottom lane, I feel that Meteor Makers may try and start something here.
Yeah, MYM are still going to be relatively aware that Froggen's not with them. You can see they've immediately moved up to the Baron pit. They're trying to play the hide-and-seek game, but they don't know there's a ward behind them. There's no pink. Libic, he's just seen the ward, going to finally kill that one off, and unfortunately, that's going to be like, this sucks. Evil Geniuses have stacked in the mid lane. They might be pushing for the inhibitor. This didn't work out so well for SK in one of their fights. We'll see if this works here.
Yeah, it's worked out very well. They managed to get the inner turret down, and Meteor Makers were kind of half split. It's like, do we teleport back or do we run back? Half them ran, half them teleported, and that may well be the discount, the problem they needed. And you can see immediately they're going to get up towards that inhibitor turret. Charu goes aggressive.
Wow!
Oh, he hasn't even been able to use his ultimate there. He got locked up straight away with that charm. Cubon with the counter-strike. He has to get away from that one. But that is not a good start for Meteor Makers. I mentioned at the start, they went in. They were so half-hearted. Nobody really had a clear idea of how we're going to attack.
Those pincer attacks seldom work out at this level of play. More often than not, those 3 from the top, 2 from the side type of fights work against you because you're stacking and you're jumping into a group of 5 members. They can focus a single target down way more effectively. Now, Mokate might try and steal this one. Baron's down to 6,000 HP. The rest of Meteor Makers are here. The question is, who goes in first? The answer might be Libic. Look at the bottom lane. You can see Makla's miles away.
Makla's sneaking in. He's going to go for an inhibitor turret. There's a giant wave of minions for EG as well. They are going to go towards Yellow Pete. Yellow Pete flashes away. You can see Makata goes in. Is he going to be able to smite it down? No, because he's not low enough. That's an inhibitor turret going down, but that is Pete also taking down Makata. There's the Baron. Now you can see it's another kill being picked up. They're going to chase on towards it. Charu is about to respawn. Froggen is all over and completely destroying the rat. He's been melted. Makla goes down, but he got a turret for it. Is it going to be enough, though? They're going to continue chasing Libic. Oh, the flash, the wither. Didn't hit. Oh, he didn't manage to get the wither down. They both flashed at the right time. Very nicely played from Libic. But look at the mid lane. You can see Wicked is pushing down a big giant wave. and he's going to have himself the support of the rest of the team in a minute. They're going to get that inhibitor turret.
5 versus 3 on this inhibitor. Now, the Glacial Tomb is available for Charu, so if we can lock up at least one of the targets and slow down the rest, maybe they can make this work. But there is no box available for Thresh. At the end of the day, MYM are playing this very safe. They've given up the tower. They're going to give up the inhibitor as well.
They get the hook on Snoopy, but it's definitely not the one they wanted to fish for. They are going to get themselves that inhibitor. Well, if they finish it off, they will actually get the second inhibitor turret of the game as well. And now EG are all over the base of Meet Your Makers. This Baron buff, it's got 3 minutes left at the minimum still on here. Meet Your Makers with the home guard boots. Are they going to try and create something? No, they're not. They're going to get slowed down.
They've got Wicked.
The hook on Wicked. Not too sure they wanted to bring him in. Kubon, though, with the tankiest item in the game, tankiest player in the game, just gets melted by Evil Geniuses. Makata tries to slide away, but Froggen says no way and just runs straight through, picks him down. There's going to be a second. Yellow Beat does get taken down. Limit gets dropped as well. It's a triple for Froggen right now. He is cleaning house once again. Uses that Zhonya's Hourglass, tries out the charm. Not going to be enough. Charu, though, Crepo's trying to kill him. Pete, meanwhile, solos Backler. Would you believe it? Crepo did kill Charu. Where he pulled that one from, used the crescendo to take him out. They're going to finish the game. Evil Geniuses will beat Meet Your Makers. They were 5,000 goal behind, but that is going to take them to 4th place.
Evil Geniuses bounced back from a deficit in the early game to pick up a victory where if you think back to week 1 in DreamHack, they tried to do it against Lemon Dogs. They were way further behind. They were playing from behind this game as well, and they did not make mistakes. They stalled when they needed to stall. They farmed when they needed to farm, and they managed to bounce themselves back into this. 2-0 on the week, 0-2 for MYM. I'm pretty sure that means MYM cannot make a playoff position now, unfortunately. They have too many losses to their name, and you can see the look of relief across every single member of Evil Geniuses.
And we could say Snoopy technically 5-0 since he's picked and chooses his jungle matches, but it seems to have worked. Whatever Evil Geniuses have been doing over the last few weeks, they are certainly playing when the pressure is on. The pressure was certainly on there. 5,000 goal behind at one point for really around about 20 minutes of that game. They were up against the pressure of Meet Your Makers. They were taking turrets down. They took 5 dragons down, Meet Your Makers. Yeah, EG hung on. They managed to fight their way back into it and brought out the victory. Like you say, 2-0 in Super Week. It's a very good start for the Evil Genius.